Hey guys, this is Kitsy Higgins and I help women succeed with the help of their deceased loved ones. In this video, I wanted to talk about feeling powerless. So I was on my phone today with a friend who was feeling powerless in her life. She was explaining to me a situation and I was like, so how are you feeling about that? And she's like, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling frustrated. And I said, I feel like there's a feeling that's underlying all of this that is important too. And she's like, I feel powerless. And it was probably the first time I've ever really heard someone say that. And I think it's a feeling that's sometimes hard to, it's hard to put into words because you're like, I don't know what I'm feeling. I'm just feeling something. And so it's sometimes hard when you don't know what's going on, when you're like, okay, I feel like all these people are doing things and they're kind of like controlling the situation. I don't know how to, they're feeling like something's having a thumb on their life. And sometimes some people can have it easy to be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling powerless in this situation. Other times, it might take a little bit for someone to really, really acknowledge that they are feeling powerless. It might be something where you kind of almost have to sit on, okay, what's going on? And then to really realize, okay, I think it's the powerless feeling. Sorry if I'm a tad bit crooked. I've been trying to fix this. So I thought it was really powerful that she was able to express that and to feel that. And to acknowledge that about the situation. And I think it's so important that when we feel our feelings, that we acknowledge them in a way. That way we're able to figure out why, and we're able to figure out what we need to do. And my big kind of slogan is finding out what you're feeling, why, what do you need? That's what it's all about. Like let's say for instance, you're in a relationship and you're like, okay, I'm feeling unhappy. Okay, why? Because of blank. What do you need? And then there's many different options on what you can do to change that situation. There could be decisions that are really affecting you, or there could be smaller decisions that you can make that aren't so big. So you might say, well, I only have one decision. Well, or one option to make. That's not always necessarily true. You can make many different options. Sometimes it's very blatantly, but if you're like, okay, this goes against my beliefs, then you can choose a different option to fulfill that feeling, and that you can actually go and change that to a more, something that meets with your life and meets with your changes. So my friend was telling me about the powerless feeling, and she was telling me about how her and this person is just kind of combating and she just doesn't know what to do. And so, I gave her two options. I'm going to respectfully honor not speaking what those two options were on this video, but, I gave her just two options and I said, realize to yourself, we always have the power. And so it's a question of how are you going to or what can you do in your life to switch that and to change that? And then to be able to realize that you do have a power in this situation. And once you know that, sometimes it's taking big steps towards what it is that you want. Sometimes it's taking little steps to what your goal is. As I say, I'm a mom, so I don't have 3 hours a day to shift something. What I do have is 30 minutes a day, maybe 45 minutes a day to go after what it is that I desire. Same thing with my business. Okay, I'm feeling powerless with my business. I'm hoping to make a difference. I don't know if I am. I'm feeling powerless. Well, why? Because I'm hoping to make a difference and I don't know if I am or not. Well, what do you need? Or what is in my power? Just to keep doing what I'm doing, to keep showing up, and to keep putting my things out there so that when the people need me, they know where to go to and they can come to me. So it's that same thing. And it's one of those things of really being able to pinpoint what you're feeling, figuring out the why, and figuring out what you need to make yourself feel better. Because it's all about within. If you're feeling powerless, then what can you do on the outside to make you feel like that on the inside? And again, usually there is something that you can do to shift it. It may be risk-taking. It may be scary for you. It may be, you might say, well, I'm not going to get the result that I really want to. But the thing is, though, is you never really know what type of, and thank you so much for the love, you never really know what's going to come out of it unless if you do it. And the thing is, though, is, so I'll give you an example, another example. I live in townhouses that are all together. And it's, when I first moved here, I felt powerless about, well, what happens if a fire breaks out? And I felt unsafe living in a place where there was like 6 homes all together with just walls separating all of it. And so I felt like powerless, like if there was a fire, there was no way for me to do anything. So what did I do? And maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, what could she have done? Well, I bought a fire ladder and I have it underneath my bed here so that if there was a fire, I would be able to go and just get that fire ladder out, hopefully get my kids to run, hopefully it's not up top here, get the kids to run over and to just do the fire ladder. I have it all set up. All you got to do is just boom, right out the box. I unwrapped it, everything. So that feeling of powerlessness, that feeling of unsafety, a lot shifted completely with me being able to buying the fire ladder and setting it all up. That I know that if something was to happen, that at least I have a way on how to possibly get out and how to get my kids and I to get out in a safe way. So, I can't control someone starting a fire. I can't control any things, but what I can control is buying a fire ladder. I talked to a fireman. So I talked to him and I was like, can you tell me about this? And, are you concerned if you or a family member was living in townhouses all together? What would you be doing? And he explained to me how, there's probably a firewall between all of it. So, you should be okay. So I got some peace of mind. I felt more powerful of, okay, this isn't a powerless situation. It's okay. So, yeah, I think a lot of us feel that, our lives are totally out of our control. There's nothing that we can do to shift it. And that can really be really depressive. That can really make you be in a depressive mode. I know with me going through divorce and the separation, it is, you can feel really powerless in that situation. But then, what is it that you can do to take back your power? And it's, what is in my control to make myself have a better experience? And it's that same questions. Okay, I'm feeling powerless in regards to that because of the divorce. And that's my why. And then what do I need? And then, okay, maybe I just need to start reconnecting with myself and to start finding out what truly makes me happy and what I can do to, what have I forgotten to do that I used to do that I love to do. So I'm bringing up a lot of instances and I'm sorry for that. But I think this topic is really important. And, if you ask those 3 questions, if you realize what steps are in your control or what actions are in your control, then it really puts you at a place of empowerment. And that's truly remarkable. So comment down below if you can relate to this. If you're watching this later, comment replay, write in what you're taking away from this topic. Also, if you like this topic and you're like, oh, this is a powerful one for me, I feel like in my life I don't have power, then comment on that too. And do try to think of those 3 questions of, okay, if you're feeling powerless, why? And then what is it that I need? And it's really powerful that when you ask that question of what is it that I need, that it's not coming from like, oh, well, I'm going to go and beat up this person. No, we're not talking about that. That's coming from the ego. More allowing your inner child or your inner self to be like, okay, what is it that I need? So I can relate to the past year and a half and dealing with the hurt and dealing with all the changes in my life of feeling powerless. So I can really relate to this also. And so I think we've all been there. And I think it's powerful if you're able to sense that and to acknowledge that. I think that's the first part, is acknowledging it. And then you can really get to figuring out what you need to do. So I think when you acknowledge that, that's when the change can happen. And it's that feeling and belief. I guess it's not feeling, but it's the belief that emotions always push you to do something. Emotions are energy emotion. And if you think about it, every instance you've ever done it's because of an emotion that originally started. Angry, then you yelled, or you threw something. Sad, you cried. Powerlessness, it made you take a different route, or it allowed you to take a different risk. So you shifted your life. Sometimes feeling powerless shifts your life. It literally shifts it. So really check to see that emotions make you do actions. And emotions is not a bad thing. It's important to feel them. It's important to acknowledge them to allow you to change. And I think that's where kind of depression comes into, is that it's if you're going through it, it is what it is, and I honor that. But it's also important in the meantime to continue acknowledging what you're feeling, so that you can find out what you need and make those changes, and so that you can bit by bit kind of allow yourself to make the changes that you need to be making. So I hope this makes sense. I hope I'm just not, totally going out there. And I hope that this has been of help to you. So thank you so much for watching. And I will be doing this weekly. Please share with someone if someone that's going through a powerless feeling and they're saying, I'm feeling powerless. Please send them to this video. This might be what they need to hear. And I will be hopefully soon transferring these videos onto YouTube. Oh, good. Hey, Tanya, how are you? It's been a while. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. It really does. So, again, feel free to message me and I can maybe help you a little bit and help you work through it, or just comment down below. So I leave that with you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and take care. Bye.